Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another video on this channel. Today, I have a story time for y'all. And if you watch my YouTube, if you watch my last story time, you know that I'm getting over a little thing. Literally, the day after I recorded that YouTube video, I lost my voice. I was sounding like an idiot at work. And in my opinion, I still sound a little stupid. So just bear with me, y'all. Like, I don't always sound like I cigarettes, okay? This isn't my normal voice, but it's getting back, so I'm gonna record for you guys tonight. Oh, you see what I mean? A lot of my story times are like really, really funny. I'm really bad about my trauma, and I feel like I tend to make little jokes about stuff that's not funny, but it's how we cope. It's how funny people cope, okay? So today's story time is probably gonna be a little bit more on the serious side. But today I'm gonna tell you guys a story time of when I confronted my abuser. Something that I never thought I would do, something that happened literally less than 2 weeks ago. But, you know, I think that I'm ready to share my story and reflect and just, you know, it's another thing in my healing journey. That's what this channel is all about. So let's get into that day. For interaction right now, comment what day you guys go to therapy if you're in therapy like me. I'm just playing. You don't have to comment that if you don't want. But I personally am a Wednesday therapy girl. Okay. So it's Wednesday. It's my day off. Okay. I have therapy. I was really in a good mood this day. My trauma actually really wasn't crossing my mind. Like, I was actually driving on the way to therapy, and I was just like, I don't really know what I want to talk about today. Like, I originally went into therapy to heal from my past abusive relationship, which was over a year ago. But healing is a very long process. I started in like January when my anxiety was really bad. And I've just, shout out to my therapist, girl. I'm so much better. Of course, I don't think I'll ever be fully healed from, being essayed. I feel like I could pick up, my healing from the emotional abuse, the ways I think about myself and my self worth has also been really helped in therapy. But I've come so far. And recently I've been talking about like other little things, like dipping my feet back into the dating world and stuff like that. And I was like, I really don't really know what I want to talk about today, you know? Um, but thankfully my ex gave me something to talk about. It's not even funny, y'all. When I tell y'all the timing is crazy. I'm driving to therapy thinking about how I don't really know what I want to talk about today. I'm in my therapist's office. I'm in the office, y'all. It's like 2 minutes to the appointment. My therapist peeks her head around. She's like, hey, girl, I'm trying to fix this copy machine real quick. I'll be out in like 2 minutes to get you. I'm like, cool. I open Instagram. Mind you, I've already been on Instagram since I've been in my therapist's office. I've already been on it. But I did not see that I had a message request. But some reason, I go on Instagram. I see I have a message request, which normally my message requests are pretty positive. Like, unfortunately, if you guys don't already follow me on TikTok, like a lot of times over the past years, my message requests have been like kind of creepy men from TikTok. But lately, it has been actually like some of my supporters from YouTube. You guys just sending me super sweet messages. And so I'm like, oh, I have a message request. I click, I start to see a hello and an apology. I'm like, wait, what? Mind you, it's this account. It doesn't have my ex's name. It has a profile picture. I just look super quick, right? If you guys keep up with my videos, I just recently got ghosted maybe a month ago. I got ghosted the day of a date I was supposed to go on. And like, I'm not even trying to be funny, but like him and my ex are like similar skin tones. So when I see a hello and an apology, I'm like, is this apologizing for the date or whatever? But I click the message for real. I see the profile picture. I'm like, oh, I see the profile picture. It's my ex, y'all. My heart drops. It starts with like, hello. I don't know what I'm blocked on, yada, yada, yada. Um, I found your YouTube channel. Your YouTube channel popped up. It's probably because I never deleted your number. One, that's a very, that's a very stupid way to try to say you found my account. YouTube doesn't connect to numbers, baby. This ain't TikTok. So already I'm like, okay. He's like, I found your YouTube channel. I don't know if I'm blocked on anything. I found your YouTube channel and I watched one of your videos, and I just wanted to say, like, I'm so sorry. Like, from how I acted. I'm embarrassed by how I acted. I hope everything's well. I'm so confused. So many emotions are flooding through my body, y'all. Like, one is shock. Two, it's like, why do I want to say something that means shock? It's mainly shock. Like, it literally like poked my anxiety, y'all. Like, heart rate went up as soon as I realized it was my ex, someone that I like I said, come so far in my healing journey. I'm not even at the point where I like want an apology. It's like I literally just want you to never message me again. Like that was the place I was at before. I always thought when my anxiety was really bad, like at the beginning of the year, I had a lot of fear surrounding my ex. I was always really scared to see him because I was just so traumatized by like what he's done and the ways he's violated me. And I would say I still carry that fear a little bit, but I think I have way more confidence in healing past it. To like when I'm in those specific areas where memories occurred and stuff, I think more about what I'm doing and less about like would I see him? Because like months ago it was bad. Like I was like, I'm just here to eat food, and I'm like scanning the room, feeling like I'm gonna see him. You know, like I was really scared. And so I just felt so many emotions. Literally, y'all, I read that and I'm just rereading it. And then my therapist just pops around the corner and is like, hey, you ready? I'm like, I'm just like, yeah, yeah. And you know, I feel like she's my therapist, obviously. She told me later, she was like, yeah, girl, you looked pretty flushed. Like you look like when I came around that corner. Cause she always asked me, how are you? Such a therapist thing to ask. She's great. And I'm like, I'm and I was just like, okay, this is really weird, but right now I just got a message from my ex. And she's like, okay. And I'm like the abusive one, like the one I started therapy for. And she was like, okay, okay, come in, have a seat. And mind you guys, like I know a lot of people do back and forth with exes. You feel me? Like I know a lot of people like they text their ex texts them. I'm one of those people where like when you stop dating me, you'll literally never hear from me again. Like so this hasn't happened to me in general. Okay, like my first boyfriend was high school. I really never talked to him after like our little talk when he tried to get me back, right? I really never talked to him since that. My second ex, that was my first love. That was that heartbreak that I was so delusional about. I was delusional about that man. Um, I think I forgot to block him on one platform. Like a week after we broke up, I reached out. We had a conversation. Um, that proved that he was even dirtier than I thought. I never spoke to him again after that. Okay, watch. I texted my ex's mom. If you want context for that one, like you get what I mean. And then this ex, we never talked. We broke up in May 2023, y'all. As of right now, it is September, almost October of 2024. Okay. The last time we talked was the day after we broke up. This breakup, I was super delusional, not about wanting him back. I was the one who left. I knew like I just couldn't take it anymore. But I was very delusional and like lost in the rose tinted glasses of loving someone to have like room to hate him or feel negative about him for the abuse. Like I literally called him the next day to check on him because I knew how he was, like how he always guilted me before breaking up. I was literally like afraid that he was gonna be okay. We had a conversation. We ended on good terms. Like I said, because I always made excuses when I used to love that person, right? So I've really never had an ex reach out to me light years later, like someone who actually meant something to me at one point. So this is crazy in my eyes, okay? So heart rate is up. I literally feel sweaty. It feels kind of hard to breathe. And my therapist tries to guide me through this exercise. She's like, okay, sit on the couch, close your eyes, this and that. Y'all, I can't even hear what she's saying. I can't even hear what she's saying. Like, she's provided me with so many good exercises where I sit on the couch, I close my eyes, and I literally feel like I'm out of the room. Like, literally, it's exercises that I feel like take me out of my current experience, like almost like a guided meditation. But she's doing that, and I'm like, honestly, I can't really like register what you're saying. And she's like, okay. She's like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. She's like, just keep your eyes closed. Like, I can see, what's happening. She's like, just keep your eyes closed, feel what you want to feel, and open them up. Come back when you're like, open them up and come back, to this room when you're ready to talk, right? So I'm doing it. And y'all, one thing that happened to me that I didn't expect is when I was closing my eyes, just like thinking about this message, I started crying, which is crazy. I've never cried in therapy in my life, y'all. I've come close. I think it's just like my ego because I'm a Scorpio. Girl, I cry all the time. But like that's the thing. I feel like a lot of my friends might not know that I cry all the time. But like the people closest to me, they know. Like my best friend, whoever I'm dating, and my dad, oh, I'll cry over anything like in front of and especially by myself. But I think it's just like that comfortability for me to feel free to cry. Like any boy who's ever dated me, they know like you're crying again. Like it's just me. I came close to crying when I had to tell her a memory about the sexual abuse, about a time he sexually assaulted me. I came close to crying when I was talking about grieving. But I never actually cried before. But when I was closing my eyes, tears just ran down my face. And I open it, I come back. She's like, hi, like, what are you feeling? I'm telling her exactly what I told y'all. I'm like, this is just a lot of emotions. And she's like, well, why do you think you're crying? At first, I'm like, I don't know. I was just like, I feel like it was just a rush of emotion and memory when I read that message, right? Because I'm like confused, I'm shocked. But I realized I'm like, one of the things that made me cry, which I literally hate to admit, is I was like, seeing that message, I feel like humanized my ex, humanized my abuser again. Because, like I said, when you haven't talked to someone for over a year, it's so easy to be like, I'm healing. I realize all these things. I realize you're a terrible person. Like, like that's how I felt for a long time. Like, it's just like, I never want to hear from you again. I'm so, like, whatever, right? But I'm like, seeing him apologize and like send me a personal message, like someone who I once loved so deeply, even though they've traumatized me in many ways, I was like, it's weird. Like, it feels like it humanizes him again. I'm like, oh, I remember he's a person. I remember all the trauma he's told me he's been through, the abuse he's been through. Like, everything rushed me. And I was like, obviously, I'm not sitting up here like, oh, that excuses everything, but it was like a true part of how I felt. And she's like, that's understandable. After she asked me once the last time I talked to him, she's like, that makes a lot of sense. I'm like, right, right. So we're talking about a lot of things. I show her the message, she reads it, and she's like, okay. We explained how I was like, I always thought when I lived in fear of him for so many months, I was like, I always thought if he found me talking about my healing journey, that he would like be mad, like he would send me a message, like he was low-key one of those all bark no bite people. But like he threatened me a couple times in the relationship and stuff like that. So I was like, I was expecting to get a message like that if he ever heard like I was talking about what he did. He was someone who was like so serious about his image. I don't know why, like he was somebody. But um and I told her that, and she's like, yeah, this is surprising to get an apology. And so we're just talking about a lot of things. And I was like, honestly, I want to know what you think I would say. Because I was like, I never thought that I'd want to say something. But I was like, I actually do. And I told her I want to know two things. One, like we said, the apology was very, very vague. It was like, I feel embarrassed for the way I acted, and I'm sorry, this and that. So I'm like, is he talking about the emotional abuse or is he talking about the sexual abuse? Like, I'm like, is he talking about both? I'm like, because you're not being specific enough for me. Like, if you're gonna come correct, okay? I didn't want a conversation. I want to know two things. One, that what specifically are you apologizing for? Like, never in my life have I seen a sexual predator admit, yeah, I R-worded someone. Yeah, I SA'd someone. Yeah, I've never seen that before. And I was like, he never admitted it. I barely even brought it up to him. If you're familiar with my videos, a lot of times when I was assaulted by him on like the couple occasions, it wasn't like this crazy scene out of a movie. It's like I just simply said like no or stop. And when he ignored me, I just let him do what he wanted to do. I didn't try to fight him or anything like that. So it's like there's never been like a dramatic moment. Some people are so sick in the head. I'm like, maybe he doesn't even realize it. I mean, he should. I'm like, I literally said no, but so I'm like, I want to know if he's admitting to that. Like, that's all I want to know. And then, two, he said, I saw a video. I'm like, what video did you see? Because based on what video you saw is very telling about what you're apologizing for. If you look at my video, I have countless story times and countless healing videos. Like if you're talking about one of my videos about healing from SA, if you're healing, I'm like, oh, so like that if it's one of those, it's like you're kind of admitting to what you did. So I was like, I just want to know those two things. I was like, whether he admits to it or not, I'm still gonna block him. I still don't want a conversation. But I feel like I'm at this point in my life where I can accept, like, I'm so strong and past in my healing journey that I can accept if he's gonna, like, straight up tell me he didn't do it. Because, like, that's what happens to a lot of people. I feel like if that happened a couple of months ago, I probably would have lost it. I probably would have spiraled for days, been sent back into depression, just so confused how someone could not admit something that they did to me that is so deeply traumatizing. But I'm like, I think I'm at the point now where it's like whether he's ready to admit it or not, that's all I want to know. That's all I want. Don't want a conversation. Don't want you to talk to me ever again. Boom. And so she's just like, okay. Like she's telling me all this stuff. She's like, you want to know those two things? You want to be straight to the point? She's like, I say, you say that. When I tell y'all, we're literally up in that therapist office like homegirls, like I'm texting it out. I'm like, okay, so should I say this? Should I say that? I'm handing her the phone back and forth. I'm like, does this look okay? So unserious. This is not funny, but like that's literally how it was. So I type out, I make a lot of videos. Which one are you specifically did you watch? Like which one did you specifically watch? And then I was like, and are you apologizing for the emotional abuse, the sexual abuse, or both? And she's like, she tells me just like that looks good, straight to the point. I send it. And obviously therapy's only an hour. She's like, sometimes, or before I sent that, she was like, sometimes people don't understand the impact they've made on you unless give them like context. She's like, what you don't have to do, because one, we don't have to show him how much power he has had over you at one point, because he doesn't need to know all that. Like you can say whatever you want, but she's also like, two, if you want to really just like say something impactful, like show him, she's like, you can. And so I was like, honestly, I think I just want to ask the two questions I want to know. And then when he responds, I'm going to like, if I feel like giving him like an impact statement about how much this has really impacted me, then I will. And then I'm going to block him. That's all I want to say. And she's like, okay, our session ends. She literally feels like homegirl. She's like, girl, I have anxiety. I have anxiety from you. Like, I want to know because I see her bi-weekly. And I'm like, okay, I'll definitely keep you updated. She's like, you did great. Yeah, just stay grounded, take care of yourself today, whatever. Okay, y'all. So I literally drive home. I'm so anxious. I'm crying. I'm like hyperventilating because I'm just like, what is he gonna say? Like it's just a lot to hear from someone who's traumatized you so deeply in general. It's just so many emotions. I get home, and so he responded about 30 minutes later. And let me remind y'all what I said. I said, I make a lot of videos. Which one did you watch? And then I said, are you apologizing for the emotional abuse or the sexual abuse or both? And he said this. Don't really know what I expected, y'all. Like I said, I've never heard a predator, a disgusting person ever admit to something like that, because who would want to admit to something like that? Like, they don't care about the people they've harmed, they just care about themselves. So I'm just like, okay, okay. And y'all know how boys are. Why can't they answer two questions at once? So I'm just like, what video? After that, I'm like, okay. Like I said, I'm not here to fight. I'm not here to argue. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is in the therapist's office, when we reread the message, um, he put that watching the video made him realize how like disgusting and crazy he used to act and stuff like that. And I remember that again, me and my therapist were really in there like homegirls. When we reread that, I was like, wait. So he just is now seeing that he's a terrible person from watching my video. I'm like, he didn't know he was crazy and abusive before. Like, I was like, oh, he got me fucked. But again, like, I either way, I wasn't like, my therapist was like, well, yeah, like he has both of us messed up, but she's like, but we still don't want to come off aggressive because we want your questions answered and then we want to throw him out. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. But anyway, he finally responds when I'm just like, what video did you watch? He's like, I watched my psycho ex-boyfriend, which is a story time you guys can click on. Literally 5 months ago. I don't know how he found that. I know my YouTube did not pop up on his feed. Y'all, when I used to date him, he was like a DDG watcher, a gaming watcher. How did my girly self pop up on your YouTube, nigga? It didn't. It didn't. But anyways, he says, I watched my psycho ex-boyfriend, which if you guys want to watch that, you can. Story Times playlist. It is a story time of when I had a modeling job and I modeled next to a boy because hello, I'm a model. Y'all, and it was not nothing crazy. It was skincare. They posed me next to a boy. I was honest about my day and he flashed out on me, degraded me, called me names in the book, uh this and that, all that. He did a whole big one, then did a whole 360 like men do, when I blocked him for acting crazy. Because he even went as far as to posting something about it on his story and embarrassing me in front of like his following. Just watch the story, y'all. But then yeah, he did a whole 360 when I blocked him. Mm, mm. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. We worked it out. But unfortunately, like I said, ladies, please take, and gentlemen and non-binary people, please take the signs as they are. Because he acted all crazy like that. I saw him a few days later and he had sexually harassed me plenty of times in the relationship, begging me to sleep naked when I said no, begging me to at least take at least the top, at least the bottom, like begging me all the time for stuff when I said no, nudes, phones, like he had that behavior. But a couple days after the modeling situation is the first time he actually essayed me, like physically, you know? One of my most memories about that. Um, Anyway, so he says the story time he saw, he still goes on to say how apologetic he is. Like, yeah, I watched it. I acted crazy. I'm not here to disagree with anything you said. Mm, I literally mentioned you essaying me in that video, but you just said I'm talking about the emotional abuse because I never did that. Okay. Anyway, so I just did what my therapist said. I'm like, okay, I told you whether he admitted to it or not, he was still gonna get blocked. I still don't want a conversation. Like, boy, you still not forgiven. Whether you admitted it or not, it doesn't make you a better person because it still happened. It's still going to affect me for the rest of my life. Okay. Um, so I send an impact statement. I'm just like, okay, well, I'm not here to have a conversation with you, argue with you about my truth. I was like, you did do that. You did that a few different times when I told you no, including harassment, including the emotional abuse, blah, blah. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna put it on the screen, but a little summary is I was just like, his only siblings are two sisters significantly younger than him, like 10 years younger than him, um, who were gorgeous souls, by the way. I hope they're doing well. And it really sucks to have someone like that as a brother that I'm sure they don't even know was like that. like someone they look up to. Okay, I don't want to get sad. I literally put, because obviously I dated him. I was like, I hope your little sisters that like you love and adore never meet a man like you. I ate. Um, I was like, seeing that you are not ready to admit the full truth, like literally, it's like a slap in the face to come and apologize. Okay, you apologize for emotionally abusing me. Still doesn't change the fact that I felt unworthy of love, that I struggle. It doesn't change anything, bro. But I'm like, saying that you're not ready to admit as saying me, I was like, it shows how far you've come as a person. You haven't come far at all in a year and a half. And I was just like, get help and like, please don't reach out to me again. Mind you, y'all, I never even mentioned how he reached out to me. I remember so specifically, he had like a couple different accounts when we were dating. He had his main, he had a spam, and I remember he had one other stupid account that he wanted to turn into something. And I remember blocking at least two accounts. But I swear, y'all, remember how I told you the account he messaged me on? It wasn't even his name. It just said some weird stuff and it had his profile picture. I'm pretty sure I never blocked that third account that was supposed to be used for something else. Um, but yeah, y'all, he read it as soon as I said it. He was typing. He put wait, like wait, blocked. Blocked him in the middle of typing because I'm not here for the conversation. I gave. I'm gonna show y'all. There you go. I absolutely aged, Shaw. Like I'm so proud of myself for how I handled myself and how I carried myself. I never thought I would have the strength to come face to face. I mean, it wasn't face to face because it wasn't in person, but to like directly acknowledge my trauma in front of someone who caused it. Because I like again, to not to my surprise, I would not think that I would get comfort or um validated in it, and I didn't. I don't know what he was going to say after that, but I don't want to hear it. If you're watching this because you found my YouTube, that really creeps me out. But I guess he's a fan and he can contribute to my views. Don't try to like reach out to me again. I'm so serious. I'm so serious. Like, um, I hope he got the message because I really just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But yeah, guys, I just had a good cry after that. Like I said, just so many emotions coming up. I was so proud of myself, but also it's just a lot of emotions, a lot of emotions. Called my sister. My sister comforted me. I told my best friend what happened. By that time, I wasn't crying, and she just validated me so much and was like, read the message and was just like saying over and over, like, I'm so proud of you. Like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Like, she's someone who's seen the whole journey of when I first acknowledged it to the panic attacks, to the lack of sleep, to me going to therapy. Like, she's seen all of it, and she just validated me so much. I love you, girl. And yeah, like Wednesdays are my day off, and I was planning to film, and I was like, I look so ugly from crying over this situation. Like, it's so much. It's like tears of joy from being proud of myself, but then also it's just traumatizing. Like, if you get it, you get it. And I was just like, dang, I'm gonna be so ugly. I don't even want to film today. Y'all, if you watched the my video called It Doesn't Get Easier, You Just Become More Aware, I literally recorded that the day, hours after that situation. I still pulled myself together, recorded my content, um, healing myself, healing you guys, hopefully. And yeah, guys, I have not heard anything since. I hope it stays that way. Yeah, when I just told people about it, they were so proud of me because they were just like I said, how I really feel like my last paragraph ate y'all. Like, they were just like, you did so good because they were like, you were so classy with it, but like you told him what he needed to hear. And like, it was, like you said, fuck you, but like so gracefully. And I was like, I did, huh? I did. But yeah, you guys, that is a story of when I confronted my abuser. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. This channel is about being real because I'm a real ass bitch and I got real ass. Okay, but like it's been a little rough. Like I said, just hearing from someone who's traumatized me and affected me so deeply. It's brought up a lot of emotions. I told you I dealt with a lot of emotional abuse from that person before the sexual abuse started. And he basically convinced me at one point that just used to convince me that I wasn't worthy of love besides his. I wasn't worthy of love that didn't come with abuse. Um, Phrases like, no one thinks like you, no one would want to date someone like this, like all that. Um, and that was someone that I truly did not think would ever leave me, like for real, y'all. For real. He was very obsessed in not a healthy way. I know it's cute to be obsessed with your partner, but it was not a healthy way, like the stuff he used to do to me. Um, and literally coming from a relationship where I didn't feel that, I thought that was just like good to like feel wanted and feel secured, like, oh, he actually is obsessed with me and won't leave me. But like I said, I decided to leave him because I chose myself, and I I chose myself, and I knew that I didn't deserve it. But just hearing from him brought up these feelings where it's just like it really sucks that I have not really moved on love life wise. I haven't had a new relationship since it. If you watch my channel, I've had a lot of fails trying to dip my feet back into it. You feel me? And I was just like, it's really sad to me to think about how I feel like the time someone truly did love me, because I don't think that abuse and like how people treat you are go with how they love, like attached to love. I know a lot of people be like, people who cheat on you don't love you. People who do this don't love you. I'm a firm believer that people can still love you and be messed up. Like it doesn't make sense, y'all. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to you. But I've seen it plenty of times. I truly do believe that man loved me, just in an unhealthy way. He was still abusive, all that. I still think he loved me. And it just sucks because I was like, the only time I've ever had like someone ride or die, I was like, it was abusive. Like it's very hard for me to think like one day someone is going to love me, and it's not going to come with trauma, and it's not going to come with it'd be like it's not going to be that way. It's like I can't see it because I haven't had it yet, and it does make me quite upset, because it's a hard thing to see. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. Everything happens for a reason. I needed this time. I needed this moment. I'm also saying timing does not play. I'm so thankful for the timing of this. Like I said, hearing from my ex, my abusive ex, would have sent me into a spiral and probably into a depression for weeks if it was like at the beginning of this year, you know? But therapy has helped me so much that I'm like, I was able to stand up for myself, get my answers, and get the on. And I ate that. I really ate that up. But also, when I say timing, the fact that I was able to handle it with my therapist, that's even crazier, y'all. Like when I read the message, my appointment started around like 1. He sent that at like 11. I'm like, so he sent this 2 hours ago when I was still at the house. I was on Instagram at the house, but I didn't see it. But I saw it in my therapist's office. I was like, that's crazy. And that's amazing that I got to go through this with a trained professional. But yeah, you guys, that is the story. Shout out to me. I'm very, very proud of that moment. See, this is what I'm saying, y'all. I'm like, how did I not cuss? How did I not cuss him out and read him down? That's literally the person that's traumatized me the most. Like the most person I feel about. And I still handle it with class. See, because I feel like when you handle it with class, it throws them off. Because they're like, oh, so she not even like yelling at me or cussing me out. She's just disappointed. Like I said, I don't even care to be like disrespectful or not to him, but it's just how it came out. Y'all saw the messages, but if you have ever confronted your abuser, whether that bitch told the truth and admitted it, or whether that bitch was a bitch like my ex and didn't, shout out to you. We did the damn thing. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of me. I'm proud of you, even if you've never stood up to your abuser, if you've never anything, because it's hard. I'm proud of you for just existing. Existing post abuse, post those feelings, post that guilt is enough, more than enough to be proud of. So Thank you guys so much for listening to me yap, even though I sound like a smoker today. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. I love to chat more about this. Again, once again, I appreciate every nice comment I get, every nice message I get. You guys are actually so sweet. I've been on YouTube for 8 months. It's been quite the journey. I hope I said something helpful. I hope I said something inspiring, you feel me? That's the goal. But this video was also just healing and very reflective for me because it is my personal experience. But anyways, thank you guys for listening, and I will for sure catch you guys in the next one, hopefully with a better voice. Okay, bye.